Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the program. In today's episode I've already worked on 2 cars and I'm about to work on the third. We have this Lexus CT200. This thing's a hybrid, so it's pretty quiet, but customer reckons that his front brakes are done, and he is right, because I had a look at them and they were approximately to the left there, that low. But it was more concerning to him because the steering wheel is shaking like mad. So to replicate this, I'm going to take it for a spin and see what the deal is. So there's heaps of hills around here. It's actually a really nice area, so let's give it a test. So we've got a real big hill at the moment we're going up. Now that looks pretty nice, but this should be enough of a hill to get the rotors super hot so we can actually feel them, which is kind of good and kind of bad because they're going to be really hot when I'm working on them, but who cares? Oh yeah, that ain't good. You can actually hear it shaking the steering column. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I'm feeling that. It's actually a little bit more unusual, that sound there. But one of the benefits of the diagnostic process is changing parts that we know need to be changed. And if the symptom continues, well, at least you didn't waste your money because these brakes need to be changed anyway. But either way, everything needs to be changed up the front, so we'll do that and then we'll see if the problem goes away. So let's get into it. The only reason I mention it's like a weird sound is because it sounds like the uni joint in the steering rack is moving a bit, which probably could be another symptom, but we'll worry about that when we're done this. So wheels off now. Like I said, these are going to be a little bit toasty. Yeah. And that's what I was saying, they do need to be changed anyway. You're also probably wondering, you're on the road, aren't you worried about getting run over? We ain't in the city. There's probably like maybe 5 houses on this street in the middle of a really nice area, to be honest with you. But it's one of those ones where no cars, I don't think I've seen cars all day come up here other than the guy who lives here. Now I already know these have been on because he's told me, but some of the things you can obviously look for, a lot of corrosion around the hub here. Corrosion is built up quite high, and here is just full of corrosion, as in rust buildup. So extremely straightforward job with this setup, with the kind of usual 2 bolts on the caliper. Hybrid Corollas, I mean, whatever it is, the CT200s, their brakes are really small compared to like a standard petrol Corolla. The usual, pull the caliper towards you a little bit. This just helps loosening it off. It's been on a while, which this one definitely has. That's the kind of difference. So now you're probably wondering, how are you going to compress this brake piston back in the brake caliper? Well, that is a very good question. There are many ways to do this. C-clamp, G-clamp, whichever one you want to use. You can use a screwdriver to bend them back in, but we're not going to do that today. This is the way I'm going to do it. I sell these brake ratchet spreader tools. It's actually got my brand on it here. I use this all the time, and like I said, I do sell them. This is as easy as it gets. Just simply put the spreader tool into the actual caliper, and then, like so, you can easily push that piston back in. No mucking around, no mess, no dramas, no damaging anything. This works exceptionally well on twin pots too, so you can actually feel if one of the actual pistons is getting stuck in the caliper. And just like that, the piston is back in. I just had a bunch of these come back in stock. They sold out super quick last time. Check the link down below, southsidemobilebrakeservices.com. Grab one today. Stock is actually in my shed, so you get it pretty much the same week you order it. 14-day money-back guarantee if you are not happy. Don't take my word for it. Check out the reviews. Back to the video. Remember to take the brake reservoir cap off so you can see how much fluid is coming up. Now obviously, give this a good scrub. Right down to the brake cleaner, wipe it down. These little details is just what's going to be the difference between it lasting an extra 10-20,000 Ks. Another sign that is probably the brakes, because these slide pins are just... Check the bottom one. There you go. Because this caliper mounting bracket is seriously on there, little tip, turn the wheel outwards so then you can actually get the big boy on it to remove it. Then you can actually get the correct tool on it. Now, as you recall, these didn't really move, so they need to be cleaned, but also that ain't any good. So let's fix that. There's a wire brush, some brake cleaner to scrub the shit out of it for it to actually be clean. Don't forget to pull these actual tabs off because there'll be a lot of stuff underneath. Something that resembles this. Now again, this is the difference between if your brakes are going to make noise, if they're going to wear unevenly, if they're going to last that extra 20-30,000 Ks, you invest into some good parts. Why not put the effort in? From there, get these out. What you can do is sometimes just, you can actually pull the slide out, move it around. I've already wiped it down. And then pull it out again and just keep doing that until it moves freely, but also there's no dirty grease in there. And if it doesn't want to move and it's got this little rubber thing on it, well, it's probably swollen. But these seem to be doing very well. So from there, we're going to chuck some of this grease on. This is the Bendix stuff. Haven't had any issues with it. Seems to work really well. When I go back to cars after a few years of working on them, do the brakes again, seems to work really well. And like so, it moves freely compared to this caliper mounting bracket, nice and clean. We can put it to the side, ready for reassembly, and remove the rotor. You can see there's two holes here. You can put two screws in here if this rotor is just not coming off with all this corrosion and everything built on. We'll give it a hit with the mallet. You don't want to just go crazy smashing it because you do not want to damage this wheel bearing. So let's see if it comes off. You can also spray a little bit of inox on here. And about that much is what it takes to remove it. See all the hot spots here? So it's definitely gotten hot. To give the actual hub a clean, this just removes any of the debris that may be building up, causing run out on the rotor. And that nice and clean. If you can, wipe this backing plate down a bit. A little bit of anti-seize. This looks like I'm just going crazy, but I'm really not. Nice shiny new rotors. Spray these down with some brake cleaner and then wipe them down with a clean rag. Emphasis on the clean rag part. Then you can throw it back on. Throw this here, it just helps with everything. And then because we've prepared all the other components, everything should just fly straight back on. And from there, a little bit of grease, just a light film on the back. Something like that. Once these have been reinstalled, just check they're moving freely, because if they're not moving freely, well, they're going to stick and we're going to have some issues later. Once everything's been put back together, push that brake pedal to make sure nothing is sticking. It's tracking my face, so I can't really show it, but it's not sticking. So that's done. Do the other side, go for a test drive. So that's done. All right, everything's back in the car. I was just talking to the customer then. I actually was supposed to do the rear pads on this, but if you look here, they're not too bad. What do you reckon? Furthermore, I did recommend, look, we've done the front brake pads and rotors. Although it's not that big of a deal, there is quite a bit of corrosion build-up on the actual rotors. Bit salty around here type thing in the air, so it's one of those situations where I spoke to him, giving him any dramas, any issues, anything like that. So from there, let's go for this test drive. Won't go too far, do a little test, make sure there's nothing weird going on. The pedal feel actually, it feels a lot different. It feels way more, not so much responsive, it's always responsive, but that's solid though. But let's get it hot. Same exact route we did last time. So we'll go up this huge hill and then from there, get them stinking hot and see what the deal is. Just hit the brakes really hard twice then. Let's go again. Nah, that's magic. That feels so much better. Customer, he diagnosed it himself. So Endo, shout out. You know what you're doing, man. Go again. This is night and day difference, man. All right, so they were due. They were due, that was the problem. Happy days. Now what I'll do is, I'll just do a little bit of a slow crawl like I normally do, make sure there's no issues in regards to just squeaking, weird behavior, because their brakes will behave differently under different situations. Maybe you're driving fast and you hit the brakes hard because something jumps out in front of you, or maybe it's one of those situations where you're doing like a Macca's run, school pickup type deal. So you want to make sure you're covered for all occasions. All right, slow crawl. Nothing there, we're going backwards now. All right, we're going about 15k an hour. I'm on the pedal, I'm on the pedal, I'm on the pedal. Nah, we're good, let's go back. Cruise around for maybe 2 minutes, let them cool down and then head back. Big difference, I think you'll be extremely happy. And with that, we are done. You're probably wondering why it's dark now. Don't ask me, but we had to do a little bit of bleeding on a patrol, but pulls up good now, so we're done. Customer took the Lexus for a spin, so we're just going to get some feedback. Happy, sad, would you use me again?
Absolutely, mate. Top job.
But you already knew that. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, check out the other stuff. If you want to get in contact with me, hit up this Facebook page here. If you want to email me down below. If you want to buy something from the store, buy something from the store. And if you want to become a member, consider joining. We do free giveaways every month. All right, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.